Ignore my hair, I just went for a run. All right, here's the deal. I will start an OnlyFans if you meet my conditions. If you've been watching my channel for a while, this may not be much of a surprise. You'll probably just roll your eyes and say to yourself, oh, there goes Mark again, getting naked when nobody asked. But if you're relatively new to my channel, this might be slightly confusing or concerning. But rest assured, I know what I'm doing. In the past, I made a lovely little calendar called Markiplier's Tasteful Nudes Calendar, where I did exactly as the title describes. And I sold it for charity. It was so successful that we sold over 38,000 of these calendars, of which I spent 8 days of my life hand-signing each one. My OnlyFans will be much the same, except I won't be signing it, but all of the proceeds will be donated to charity. However, I will only make an OnlyFans if you meet the following conditions. Number 1, you listen to Distractable. In the description, you'll find links to the podcast that Bob, Wade, and I made together, but you don't just need to listen to Distractable. That would be too easy. You need to listen so hard with enough new listeners that you launch Distractable to #1 on both the Apple podcast charts and Spotify, thereby dethroning Joe Rogan. Believe it or not, we've actually done this. We were #1 on Spotify before, and for a brief day, we were past Joe Rogan. But we've never been #1 on Apple Podcasts, and both of those conditions need to be met simultaneously, or I will not make an OnlyFans. Condition number 2. You listen to Go, my favorite sports team. Tyler and I also made a podcast where Tyler finally gets to flex his master's degree in sports. But also, I don't know anything about sports. I don't watch sports. I don't really follow sports. I don't really care much about sports. But that's the point of the podcast. It's a bridge connecting the people that love sports and the people that absolutely don't love sports, or everyone in between, where they can sit down and in common understanding try to identify the weird, wild world of sports. At least that's my perspective. I am a little peeved that the only episode that I did not host, where Wade stepped in because I was sick, just so happens to be the most popular episode of that podcast. That doesn't seem very fair, considering I have recorded dozens of these and I have learned so much about sports. I could tell you what I learned, but don't ask me what I learned, because I definitely know what I learned. You don't need to know what I learned. But that's another topic for another day. Go, my favorite sports team, has to become the #1 sports podcast in America and the world. There is a subcategory for podcasts for sports. It must, for all the world to see, to sit at the top of those charts, and for all the other sports podcasts to look upon and weep at my knowledge of sports that I definitely have. These are my conditions, and the links to meet these conditions are available in the description below, or you can simply search for Distractable and GMFST on their respective podcast sites. If you don't meet these conditions, then I will not make an OnlyFans. My tasteful nudes will not be released to the world. Some of you may not wish for this to happen in the first place and want to stop the other people that are sprinting headlong into tasteful nudes too. That's up to you. I'm fine either way, and I will relish the competition that you stir up. But if you do want this to happen, and you do want me to make an OnlyFans, and you do want tasteful nudes too to exist in the world, then all you need to do is meet the conditions, and I will follow through. And all of the proceeds through OnlyFans will be donated to charity. Good luck, and thank you for enabling me.